Yeah.
Fine. You are able to see WLC, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good. That is what I was asking. So yesterday, what I was mentioning that one is your autonomous AP and the your lightweight AP image need to be checked. Second, you need to check the domain, regulatory domain. So for regulatory domain, you go to the wireless. Under the wireless, you can see this country. Click on this country, and you can see that whatever domain you select from here, like India, if you are selecting, India domain is D, right? D will
Mm-hmm.
be come into the
Mm-hmm.
picture. And if there is some
Mm-hmm.
other domain, you can use all those domains. So these domains should
Mm-hmm.
be same on the wireless controller and on the AP. This is very
Okay.
important point. Okay. And to
Mm-hmm.
change the domain, you cannot do it until or unless these broadcast or these radios are on. So first you need to disable these radios. Okay, 802.11 network and 80.11.2b network. These to be disabled. Apply the configuration, and then only you can make changes into your domain, regulatory domain.
Mm. So what you have to do exactly? Sorry.
So let us say save this. Okay,
Okay.
save this and save this also. Disable it and save it.
Mm-hmm.
Only after that, if you go to the country code regulatory domain, okay, you let us say I am selecting Australia also. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I can just apply this.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it won't be you won't be able to apply. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
if your radios are not off. So only when
Mm-hmm.
your radios are off, you can do it. And after
Mm-hmm.
that, you can make them enable again. Okay, once done the change, maybe it's a very basic thing at the time of planning or at the time of deployment. Are you getting my point? It's not the thing
Mm-hmm.
which come into the picture
So you're selecting
afterwards.
Australia for what reason, sir?
Like I am just showing you an example.
Okay.
Okay, here there is no use, but I am just
Mm-hmm.
giving you an example.
Okay. So what's the use of this?
No, try to understand. If your APE is not joining WLC,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
one problem can be regulatory domain
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is not matching.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I was saying. Okay, so you need to see that either the domains are correct or no. Yesterday I was talking about that your WLC is able to see AP. Like here I was showing you in the statistics AP join.
Mm-hmm.
There was AP, but it was not joining. So that is the reason why. What could be the possible cause that I am telling here. Okay.
So it's not joining the WLC because it's a different country, or
Yes, different regulatory domain. If the domains are different, it will not never join.
Mhm.
Now
So right now it's in
let's
Australia. Let's say, for example, you're in Australia, you have to put
in
Australia, is it?
if the AP is in Australia, you put Australia. If the AP is in US, you need to put US. Canada, you need to put Canada. But in my case, it is India, so I will use India. Okay, next. The timing is very important. I was talking that when your AP try to contact with the controller WLC, they will exchange their certificates. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And these certificate can be self-signed
Mm-hmm.
and these can be from the some third party CA also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So these certificates should be same, and for this certificate thing your timing should match, right? If your timing
Mm-hmm.
is not
Mm-hmm.
match, it means you cannot able to schedule. So you need to go to the
Mm-hmm.
commands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Under the command
Mm-hmm.
you can see this set time. Go to the set time. Here select
Mm-hmm.
whatever location you have. Let us say if you are in some of the Hawaii, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
need to click on set time zone. But in my case it's India and it's already there, so that's fine. But it is also important whenever you are doing all the stuff very first time.
Mm-hmm.
Got this point?
So you're setting the time, is it? Correct time, is it?
Yeah. Time should be correct. If time is not
Otherwise,
correct,
if Okay,
The,
other AP will not join or
no,
this
it
AP will
will
not
not.
join WLC.
No, it won't
So,
join. If you're,
so you have to set the time.
you have to set the time. Then from your AP to your controller, if there is any
Mm,
firewall coming in between, you need to unblock the required ports.
mm-hmm,
Okay,
mm-hmm,
the 5246, the
mm-hmm,
5247, right? 5247 for your cap web, right?
mm-hmm,
So those ports need to be get opened, otherwise there would be a problem. Okay, whenever you
mm-hmm.
have new WLC, right?
Okay.
So those are important. Now, as I
Mm,
was mentioning about the certificates, right?
mm,
So let us say
mm,
this AP is having self-signed certificate.
mm-hmm, mm,
You need to, your controller is not accepting that. Okay, controller is saying no,
mm,
I don't accept this self-signed certificate. So you need to go to the controller and you need to say that okay, you accept the self-signed certificate also. Okay,
mm-hmm,
for the same, what you need to do, you need to accept that under the security. You can
mm-hmm,
see this AP policies. Go to the AP
mm-hmm,
policies. Currently, it is only accepting the manufacturer installed certificate.
mm,
Accept self-signed certificate, yes. Local significant certificate, yes. And apply that.
mm-hmm,
Okay. Accept them also. So once you accept those things, your LWAP can be shown here. Getting my point?
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
maybe under the statistics, if you are see that your AP is trying to join but it's not joining, might be the problem can be your controller is not accepting your security field. If you see in the security field, right, AP policies, maybe your certificate is not selected. Then sometime somebody can
okay, okay. So the AP is not visible right now, right? Because you're not
no, no, no,
because
no.
the certificate is not selected.
I didn't own that. Okay, I will make it on in a moment. But I am just telling you the examples, right?
So AP, the AP has to be there. You have to go to the policies and select all the
Yeah,
certificates.
yeah, yeah. Now, can you see this? Authorize the MIC AP against AAA. So if you
Mm-hmm,
have
mm-hmm,
AAA authentication list, you need to,
mm-hmm,
if you click here, right? If you
mm-hmm,
click here, it means your authorization list should be there. But I
mm-hmm,
don't want. You can add that. From
mm-hmm,
here, you can add the, MAC address of the AP. You can tell what is the same and you can add from here also. But that's all right. This is
mm-hmm,
one point. So
mm-hmm.
you need to select self-signed certificate also. Yesterday I
Okay.
was
So you have to click the self-signed certificate so the AP can join the controller.
yes, if AP has self-signed. Yesterday I was
Mm.
talking about that in your license.
Yeah.
Okay, in your license you need to just accept this EULA. Remember, I was saying you.
Mm-hmm,
So that is what
mm-hmm,
you need to accept it. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Once you do all of these point, your AP will shown over here. Okay, your AP will be gonna shown over here if your AP is available. Okay,
Mm.
so
Now it's not available now. Not
current
no APs.
let me check. Give me a minute. Hmm, it's not there. Okay,
Mm.
give me a minute. Hmm. AP is now live. In some time,
Mm.
you can able to see the live. Okay,
Mm.
so if I will refresh this, you can see it's joined.
Mm.
Okay, and why it
Mm.
joined?
Because you set the time, you went to the self-signed certificate, right?
Right, I did each and everything whatever required. Okay,
Okay.
now as I told you that when your Cisco LWAP, will boot. So
Mm.
first state will be AP will get boot, right?
Mm.
AP boot means your AP is powered on. It
Mm.
boot up with the small iOS image, allowing it to
Mm.
progress through the remaining states. AP obtained an IP address either from DHCP or DNS or maybe from static IP. Then it will send WLC discovery request,
Mm.
right? So once AP will go to the locate the WLC thing, then it
Mm.
will go for the cap web tunnel.
Mm.
Okay, cap web tunnel, you already aware that AP try to form a cap web tunnel with the WLC. Cap web tunnel provide a secure DTLS connection, okay, or channel you
Mm.
can say, for your AP and WLC authentication with each other for the WLC, sorry, exchanging the certificates. Then it will send the
For the data, right? Exchanging the data, right? Between
for
the
yeah, yeah. Then it will send a WLC join request that okay, I want to join you. Once it join, if the image is not correct, it will
Mm.
say I want to download the image. So your this WLC, okay, let us say this
Mm.
is AP and this is
Mm.
WLC. If image is not
Mm.
same, it will send the image to the LWAP, okay,
Mm.
LWAP. So it will send, and then it will, after the image, it will download the config. If everything is fine, it will download the config also, okay, from the WLC. Once this part is done, it will be under the run state. So run state means
Mm.
it can be able to go for broadcasting the SSID and all of those stuff, right?
Mm.
Let us say in the fifth point, if it is not able to download the image, let us say download image is not possible by n number of reason, okay, maybe by any point it's not able to download the image, then also you need to go through couple of the steps, okay. So for the same, you go to the NetMinion blog, okay. Let me check wireless. Can you see this manual firmware upgrade of lightweight AP, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So your lightweight AP, you need to take the telnet of the device, okay? Access
Mm-hmm.
this, login into that, locate the firmware location, okay? Like here, you need to select the firmware image, and then you need to have a DSCP thing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So the main thing what I am why I am telling you this, okay? Maybe I need to, okay, let me tell you that you need to run first this debug command. Can you see this debug command?
Mm-hmm.
So first you need to run this debug command, okay. Once you
Mm-hmm.
enable this debug command, this command, the archive command will be available for you, and you
Mm-hmm.
need to put this whole command like you can see this is archive download software from TFTP and whatever the directory and whatever the image name. So once you download this image, it will extract the image, it will take some time, it will get reboot, and then it will associate with your wireless controller. Otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
there could be problem by connecting to the wireless controller. So 90% I will say your device will get the image, but 10% if it is not able to get the image, then I already talked about how you need to go for manual upgrade, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this point is very important. So once this part is done, so this part is done. Now let me just open this controller. So if you see now, show DTLS connection, okay, DTLS connection on the controller, you can see a DTLS tunnel is created, right? Total DTLS connection is 1, okay. So that is how you can see that it is up now, okay. Now if I need to check show AP image status, so if I will try to check the AP image status, it will show me the downloading in the very first time if it is not equal, if they are not matching, right? So you can see total AP is 1, but in the downloading state, no, there is nothing. So if I need to check show AP join stats, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and if I wanted to check summary for all access point, you can see all of the points here.
Mm-hmm.
What is the IP address of your AP? What is the name of your AP? AP Ethernet MAC, base MAC, all those things it is showing you, right? So that is how you can maybe go through the CLI part also, and you can check it. So this at this point of time, we are all set, like how our different APs will connect to the controllers, right? We have talked about in very detail, like what could be the problem, how they will connect. Once the AP connect, a DTLS connection will form, okay, through the CAP web tunnel. We have already discussed that, right? Now let's proceed, and we see what are the dynamic interface. So we need to check what are the dynamic interfaces, right?
Mhm.
So what are the
Mhm.
dynamic interfaces? We already talked about the dynamic interfaces in our previous classes, right? That we have a lot of interface available. But if you need to check the interfaces, go to the controller, and under the controller you can see there is ports. Port is the physical port, and there is only single port available. We can see that. Second, there is interface. Under the interface, we can see that we have created management interface,
Yeah.
which has a VLAN identifier 10, service port, and the virtual interface. So these interfaces we already talked about, right?
Virtual interface, what? Is it something virtual or what is it exactly
Yes,
virtual
yes.
interface?
Everything is the virtual here, but why virtual interface is required, where it will come, that we will discuss later on. Okay,
Okay.
that is a topic which will about to come. But now,
Okay. So you have a management interface, you have a service port interface for out-of-band management, OOP, right?
right now,
And virtual is something virtual.
right
Okay.
now, let us say if you have an AP,
Hmm.
okay, this AP is connecting with one WLC, right? There are two
Hmm.
WLC into your environment,
Hmm.
WLC1, WLC2. This
Hmm.
AP will connect with which WLC first? There is a complete algorithm for the same. Okay, it will
Hmm.
if there is already saved WLC information, it will connect with that WLC.
Hmm.
Otherwise, whatever the least okay, license also check. If WLC 1 license is already completed full, then it will, but obvious will select WLC 2, right?
Hmm.
Also, it will check who is the master. It can go to the
Hmm.
master, right? So those all things
Hmm.
it can check. But let us say when if I am going to this general, right? This general.
Hmm.
Now
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
this
Hmm.
general, when I am going,
Hmm.
can you see this option AP fallback?
Mhm, mhm,
Fallback means what? Fallback means, let us say you have again two WLC,
mm,
WLC1, WLC2. There is an AP, right? This AP currently connected with WLC1, and
mm,
maybe due to, I'm sorry. So maybe n number of reason this WLC is down.
mm,
Then this AP should go to fall back to the another controller, right?
mm, 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 mm,
Now here also one very interesting fact come into the picture. So if this AP is used for the guest, used for the corporate people, or used for the maybe VIPs, we need to check that. If it is used for the VIPs, we cannot say that this AP should not go to the controller. It should go to the controller. Yes, right. So there we can set AP priority. What we can set?
mhm,
AP priority. Okay.
mm,
So
mm,
globally, this feature should be enabled. First thing, which is enabled, I already shown you. Secondly, if you go to the AP here,
mhm, mhm,
go to the high availability. Can you
mm,
see there is some names? Okay, let us say one name, two name, three name you are putting. What is primary
mm,
controller, secondary controller, and tertiary controller,
mm,
right?
mm,
So
mm,
if you are putting this there in the bottom, you can see something named as AP failover priority.
mm,
What is that? That there are couple of the field. critical high, medium and low. Maybe for VIPs critical, for corp high. Okay, for maybe lower people medium, and for the guest it is very low. Getting my point? So, what this AP priority says, this AP priority says that okay, if I need to connect with another controller, what should be my priority? But obvious, those AP who have the critical priority, okay, first those AP will go to another WLC 2, okay, if WLC 1 fails. Getting my point? So those who are having the critical clarity, they will associate with WLC2. So we need to aware about like this AP is for whom, right? We can put the description under the AP also, right? So if you see here under the general, I am in the AP WLC and I am going into the AP. Here I can put the location. Getting my point? So this is location of the AP. You can give the AP name also depending upon your like naming convention. So AP will send the keep alive to the controller. If controller is not responding to that, it means controller is down, and it need to send to the second join request to the secondary controller. But it happens that due to license limitation, okay, your primary and secondary controller might be not having the same license. Primary is having, let us say, 150 license, secondary is only having the 50 license. Okay, so in that case, you need to be very much aware which AP should have the AP priority critical. Getting my point? So when an AP joined a controller, AP learn of the all the controller configuration in that mobility group. Okay, there is something named as mobility group, which we will be gonna cover later on. Okay, so when AP see that the controller with whom he is registered is down, AP will send this discovery to all the controller in that mobility group, assuming one of the controller has the capacity to accept the AP. And if somebody is having the least loaded, it will just latch with the same. Okay, is it fine?
Yeah, yeah.
So this is very simple thing but very important thing. So you need to enter here all the information. Okay, now when you are just doing it, you can set a global primary backup also. This is you are doing on the basis of AP, right? We are going in the AP and we are setting this high availability method over there, but not in the AP. If you go in the wireless field, can you see this global configuration? Go to this global configuration, and here you can see that what is the backup primary controller, what is the backup secondary controller. So it will be acting as your secondary and tertiary controllers. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So that is the way like how you can do these kind of stuffs into your environment. Now, okay, so now let me take the control. Okay, so if I will go to the wireless, you can see I have multiple of the APs. How many APs? 4. If I will go to the monitor, you can see the license is 50 access points supported, right? If I will go to the controller, okay, sorry, if I will go to the wireless, and in the wireless, if I will go to the global configuration, here you can see the backup controller is defined. Can you see this? What is that? 11. So maybe the secondary one is the 11. Getting my point? Similarly, if you go to the wireless again and you click on any of the AP, okay, and you go to the high availability, can you see the 10 and 11? Same here also. And what is the priority? Medium. Getting my point? So this is what I was explaining, no? So this point is clear to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, this is really very important points and you need to understand these because okay, one thing more we can see, if we go to the controller and in the general, Sometime it got freeze. Very slow.
Mm.
Okay, general. So, can you see this AP fallback button?
Mhm.
This is enabled.
Mm.
That is what all points I was mentioning to you. Getting my
Mm.
point?
Mm.
Is there any doubt in this?
No, no, no.
These points are clear to you, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the critical mode is something critical, right?
Critical mode will win the race whenever there would be a selection procedure and whenever it need to see that okay, which API I need to go with. So stop sharing your screen now.
So in case of a failure, it'll be critical mode, huh? In case of a failure.
Wait. Stop sharing your screen.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what I was mentioning, let us say if you are into the wireless and
Mhm.
here your it is critical for this AP.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So there are five APs, let us say.
Mm.
These are having critical, these are having high, this is medium, this is low. This
Mm.
controller fails.
Mm.
They need to select on the another controller.
Mm.
There
Mm.
only three AP can join. So the
Mm.
critical one will join and the high will join. These will not. If four can join, medium one also join, low will not. If five can join, then all the five can join. Getting my point?
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. This part is clear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We go through the videos again so I can better understanding.
Yes, go to the videos again. Okay, one time, two time, howsoever you want to feel like. Okay, but this is important. Give me a minute. I am checking one
Okay.
more option. So this is primed. Primed means once your WLC is up,
Mm.
it will come to the same WLC again. Okay,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
got this point?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Now the thing is, you need to create the dynamic interface wireless
Mm.
sorry controller interface. You need to create dynamic interface for your SSID. What is SSID?
Service set identifier.
Service set identifier. What is that?
Name of the network.
Sorry,
Name of the network.
name of the network, right? So whenever you are creating an SSID, you can create more than one SSID also. Some systems support only 16 SSID and you can go up to maybe 256, 512 depending upon your environment to environment. Getting my
Mm.
point?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
For SSID, there are a couple of things what you need to be aware of. Okay, so what are those things? First, you should be creating. Okay, let me just go to the WLAN. Here, you can see I don't have any SSID. Click here, it is create new, right? So I am just clicking on create new. I am going to the go. It is saying what is your name. So I am just showing demo. What is SSID
Mm.
name? What customer will see, client will see. I am saying demo SSID.
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
the ID? It is just selecting first. But if I click here, you can see even I can create 512. Some of the systems only support 16 SSID. Okay.
Mm.
When you
Mm.
click on
Mm.
enable, you can see
Mm.
this SSID is shown to you, right?
Mm.
In this
Mm.
SSID, first thing broadcast that either you want it
Mm.
to broadcast or no. Yes, I want to broadcast, you can broadcast. Radio policy, what you want, A, AG only, G only or BG. So
Mm.
depending upon your environment to environment, you can select, but I am selecting all because my clients can be the A client, can be the G client, can be the B client. Okay.
Mhm.
Getting my point?
Yeah.
Then there is security field, QoS field, policy mapping, advanced field. There are a lot of fields available that I will be describing in a moment. Apply this. Okay. And if I will click on the WLAN now, you can see one demo SSID is there. Admin status is disabled currently because I didn't enable it. Okay. So let me see why it is showing disabled. Can you see this coverage hole detection and all thing, right? It is now coming into the picture. Status enabled, apply. Okay. Now let's go to the WLAN back. Now the admin status is enabled. Okay. So this is one SSID that got created. Similarly, you can also create the SSID into your environment. Are you getting my point?
Mm-hmm.
Now I am just stop sharing my screen. You shared your screen. Zoya, are you there? Rishi, Zoya.
Yeah, I'm there.
Now, if I will go to the wireless, I have these all API will download the configuration from the controller. One thing. If I will go to the WLAN, can you see how many WLANs are created for the clients here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm.
And when you see this, you can able to see. Let me take a screenshot of it so that I can explain, you know, to you in a moment. Okay, I just took a screenshot. Now,
So, Radhi sir,
hmm,
we can continue the class for the next 2 to 3 weeks, right?
see, I need to check. I need to check. Okay, like
Mm.
let's first continue this, then we will talk
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, because I need to 1900 also I have to learn. So if we can just extend it for 2 3 weeks, it'll be great.
No, no. So I need to check actually all the things. Actually, I need to see. We will discuss upon it. Yeah, don't worry. So
Okay.
if you see, there are some WLAN which are created, right?
Mm.
So I will not save it, but if I will click on create new, you can able to see that one more ID will be there. So when I am clicking on VLAN ID 16, there is one WLAN which is particularly specifically have different interface altogether. So what
Mm.
the thing is, for every WLAN you have different. Why it's not opening? Give me a minute. It's very slow. Very slow.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Open now. See, let us say
Mm.
this is your SSID, right? So here, can you see this security is different? Can you see this
Mm.
interface group? This is different, right?
Mm.
For the same, actually, what you need to do, you need to have different interfaces. Okay,
Mm.
if you go to the controller, you go to the interfaces, you can see there are lot of interface defined. Can you see this?
Mhm, mhm,
These interface are nothing bit like your SVIs.
mm,
The SVI or the layer 3 VLAN on your switch, it is the
mm,
same interface.
mm.
Concept is also same, right?
Ah,
So
mm,
you can create different interface. Let us say if I click over here, okay,
mm,
you can see what is my VLAN identifier, right?
mm, mm,
Just scroll down. What is my IP address? What is my net mask? What is my gateway, right? And
mhm,
then I can say what is my DSCP server.
mm,
Then there is something named as DSCP proxy mode, right?
mhm,
So that I will be gonna discuss in a moment. But you can define these all points whenever you are creating any of the interface. This point clear to
mm.
you?
Yeah, yeah.
These interface you need to go and you need to select in your WLANs or on your SSID. So when you are going to your WLAN, let us say if I am going in the let me see, maybe this. Okay, so if I am going into this, there is different interface, right? But if I am going into, maybe let us say, okay, give me a minute, it's very slow here. Let us say if I am going into the last one, here the interface name is different, right? Radio policy, if you see, it is A and G only, right? So if I will see, let us say warehouse, here the radio policy is all. No. So depending upon different clients, there can be different security policies defined, radio policies defined on your environment. Here the security policy you see WPA authentication PSK, right? But if you see, there is 8021X also, there is PSK, there is PSK, there is MAC filtering. Can you see MAC filtering? There is WEP. Okay, there is also 8021X, there is also MAC filtering. There are two type of mode. One is DSCP proxy mode and second is DSCP bridging mode. Okay, so your controller can have one of the two mode, what I explained now. What is DSCP, if I will ask? What is
DHCP?
DSCP? What is DSCP?
Getting an IP address from the
Yeah,
default
yeah,
server, IP
yes,
address,
yes.
default gateway, DNS server.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Dynamic host configuration protocol, we are aware, right? But you may encounter the term, as I told you, DSCP proxy, okay, and DSCP bridging mode. These two terms you are able to see when it come to your any of the networking fundamental. So DSCP proxy, if I will talk about DSCP proxy, if I will talk about this, DSCP proxy is a feature that allow your network device, maybe router, maybe controller or whatever, it will act as an relay agent. Okay. So when DHCP proxy is enabled on any of the network device, it will listen to the DHCP request from the client on network segment and forward these requests to the DHCP server on the other segment. So if this is a client, this client is going to the AP, AP is going to the controller, and from controller, I just show you there are some interface, right? I showed you because
Yes.
AP is connecting where on the WLAN. WLAN has some interface and interface has DHCP information. So there should be some DHCP server. Let us say maybe it can be behind some switch or something. If there is switch is there, then you need to put IP helper address. And let us say this is DHCP server. So your controller is acting as a relay agent only. Getting this point? So DHCP proxy means you are just setting the proxy, DHCP proxy, right? So if I will go to the lab, okay, if I will go to the controller, can I see advanced DHCP? Can you see currently globally which mode is there by default? DHCP proxy mode is there. Can you see this? So globally it is DHCP proxy mode is there, right? Now when I am creating any of my WLAN, sorry, any of the interface, okay, let us say I am creating an interface, I am giving the name maybe, okay, NetMinion test, VLAN ID, I am giving 100, I am just clicking on apply and all the interface information will come. What is the port number? 1. What is the IP address? Maybe let me give 11510. What is the net mask? 0. Gateway 1111. Let me take 1111. Here it is asking DSCP information, right? I can say 1151 is the DSCP information. Secondary DSCP you want to provide, you can give. But here when you select, there are three options. Global. Global means whatever global configuration is there, the one configuration what I was showing you before some time, right? Whatever global configuration is there, use that. Enable means use the DSCP proxy mode. Disable means disable the DSCP proxy mode. These three options are clear to you.
Okay. Okay.
So whenever you enable DSCP proxy mode on your controller, the controller unicast the DSCP packet from the client to the configured server. You must create at least one DSCP server in this case. But when you disable the DSCP proxy on the controller, the DSCP packets transmitted to and from the client are bridged by the controller without any modification on the IP portion of the packet. Packet received from the clients, okay, are removed from the CAPWAP tunnel and transmitted to the upstream VLAN. So DSCP packet directed from the clients are received from the upstream VLAN converted to 802.11. Okay, this part is clear to you.
Yeah.
So in DSCP bridging mode, configuration setting can be applied on the network device. Okay, and when it is enabled, it allow your DSCP to pass through the device without being intercepted or modified. Okay, so are you getting this point?
Yeah.
So in summary, DSCP proxy is a feature that facilitate DSCP message relay between your client and server across different segment, and in case of transparent, it won't. Okay,
Okay.
so let us say there is a client, right? This client is associated with AP. Okay, this AP has the connectivity with WLC. Again, in between AP and WLC, there is a tunnel, the CAPWAP tunnel, right? And after WLC, let us say there is a DSCP server. Are you getting my point? When client is sending traffic, when this client is sending traffic to the AP, this is wireless 802.11. Here also it is 802.11. But when WLC need to send to the DSCP server, this communication is on the wired network. No. So it will be 802.3 communication. So who is converting 802.11 to 802.3? Who is converting? Your controller is the one, WLC controller is the one who is converting all this part. Getting my point?
Okay.
So in case of your DSCP proxy, there will be modification done. Okay. And your WLC will set the source IP of its virtual interface when it's sending the request to the DSCP server via the switch or maybe directly. And when your DSCP server reply it back to the controller, okay, so it reply to the AP and will put the source its virtual interface again. So here virtual interface of WLC, you were asking about the virtual interface, right? So here your virtual interface of your WLC is acting as the DSCP server. Client is not aware like if DSCP server is different or no, because WLC is acting as the proxy. It is a proxy mode. Proxy means you are proxied the connection. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, now I am stopping sharing my screen. You please share your screen. I need to show you couple of more things. Now, what I was mentioning you, the wireless, and in the wireless, if I will go to the interface, you can see there is virtual interface 1.1.1.1, right? So you can give any IP, it is non-routable IP. First thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, if you just go into maybe this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here, if you see, who is the DHCP server? 207 something something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And go to the, it is having the global mode. So if you will go to the DHCP, see, proxy mode is enabled. It means it is using proxy mode only. Getting my point?
Yeah.
Now, if you go to the interface, here in the interface, somewhere, let us say for the guest or for something, okay, you can put this DHCP server as your IP also, your own IP. In that case, can you see this option, internal DHCP server? You need to define your DHCP scope here, and you can see your IPs here. Okay, but that is a bad design because you are utilizing your
Now,
controller,
once again, Rajesh, sir.
that here you can create your own DHCP server also, right?
Mm, mm,
So that
mm,
whole
mm,
thing you
mm,
can do. Now,
mm,
if you just go to the monitors and
mm, mm,
statistics, you can see these statistics what I showed you earlier. If you click on the clients, you can see
mhm,
how many number of clients are there.
mhm, mhm.
Why it's not showing anything? Oh, currently there is no client. No client found. Okay, so you can see the client, status
Mhm,
here. So if you click on
mhm.
the client, maybe you can check what is the VLAN ID. Okay, what is the, what all the things are there. Probably you can see.
Okay.
Now, let me go to the controller, to the interface,
Mm,
and to the interface group.
mm,
Currently, there is no interface group, right?
mm, mm.
Stop sharing your screen. Let me talk about some of the field about the interface group. Then maybe you can understand. So you are able to see my screen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now try to understand. So as I was mentioning you
Mhm,
here, that it
mhm,
will go to the DHCP and will go for the, specific IP address. So
mhm,
every interface, let us say this interface is 10.10.10.0
mhm,
slash 24 subnet.
mhm,
This is interface number one.
mhm,
The clients which are connected to the WLAN, let us say this interface is associated with WLAN 1.
mhm,
Now the client which is associated with this WLAN 1, this hits the capacity.
mm,
Okay. So
mm,
whenever your client connect to a WLAN, the client is placed in a VLAN, as I told you, right? So it can be VLAN 11 or whatever. And if let us say you are providing the wireless solution for some kind of auditorium, some kind of stadium, conference hall, where the clients are not fixed and they can be more or less. At
mm,
that time, you can create one more interface, let us say this time 1010, maybe 12.0/24, and this
mm,
is
mm,
VLAN 12. Okay.
mm,
And on the WLAN, instead of assigning a single interface, we will
mm,
assign the both interface.
mm, mm.
That can be achievable with the help of interface group. Getting my point? and
Okay.
this feature is named as VLAN select. Okay, so VLAN select is an option where you can have more than one interface associated with your WLAN. Okay, so Cisco introduced this feature VLAN select after the release 7.0.116.0, where we can combine multiple interface into a single pool. In this way, client can get the IP address in the round robin fashion, one from here, one from here, like that. Okay, but later on, after the 7.2 release, okay, it has modified the algorithm and it used something based upon the client MAC address, right? So when client is associated with WLAN on a controller, one index will get calculated based on the MAC address of the client and the number of the interface in the interface group. Okay, based on that index, an interface is assigned to the client. Whenever this client join the controller, the hashing algorithm always remain the same, have the same index, and client will connect with the same interface. If index is dirty or maybe it's not able to, give something, then fallback to the round robin will occur always. This point is clear to you.
Okay.
So if I will go back again to my lab and if I will go to this interface, you can see currently I have NetMinion test. Let me create one more. Okay, maybe NetMinion test 1. VLAN ID 101. Apply. Okay, this is again port number 1. Here IP address, let us say instead of 5 I am just doing 15, 2550. Instead of 5 I will do 15. Okay, primary address instead of 5 I will do 15 and I will just apply this configuration. Okay, now I have two interfaces available, right? Interface NetMinion test and NetMinion test 1. If I will create a WLAN, let us say for this WLAN I can utilize either NetMinion test, I can utilize either NetMinion test 1. One of them I can utilize, right? If I am applying this, it means all the IPs, whatever putting request failed, interface IP is not a valid. Okay, maybe there is some issues. Okay, let me check. Controller interface. So test. Oh, IP is wrong, na? We need to give. I didn't give IP, maybe. Yeah. Let me give the IP. It should be 1151 1151. It should be 1151. And let me apply this. Maybe I didn't apply it earlier. Okay. Port number. Okay, yeah. Port number is 1 because we have only one port. So it should be aware where it need to send. Now, if I will go to the WLAN and if I will select that, okay, I wanted to go for this interface, I can only go for one interface at one time. But after 7.2, as I told you, okay, if you go to the controller, there is interface group. You can add a group. So you can give a name. Let us say I am saying guest extension. It means I am extending the guest and I am clicking on add. Okay, here you can see what all interface you wanted to add. One interface this I wanted to add, one interface this I wanted to add. Apply this. Okay, go into the WLAN. Under the WLAN, if you will go here, you can see the G option is coming. G stands for group here. Apply this. When you apply this, your WLAN can send the traffic on one of the two interfaces. Got this point? So in wireless, if you will go to the controller and the interfaces, you can see these two VLANs can be accommodated for the wireless clients. Any doubt?
Wow.
No doubt? Okay. Then let us move further. 802.11x. What is this? This is network security fundamentals. Okay, so 8021x, sorry, 8021x. So what is this? This is network fundamentals. Now security fundamentals. Now what happened? This is defined by your triple I 8021x.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, for wired and wireless network, there are three main components which you need to be considered. One
Mm-hmm.
is, let us say, this device is there. Okay, the PC, it is named as supplicant.
Mm-hmm.
One is authenticator, which can be an AP or WLC both. In our case, AP and WLC. Okay, here it is named as authenticator.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then post that there should be some radius server, TACAC server, which is named as authentication server. It is fine.
Mm-hmm.
So the supplicant is the user. Here supplicant is what? User or client, which allow to access the network. While
Mm-hmm.
authenticator is any network device such as wireless access point or Ethernet switch. Okay, in our case it is AP or WLC. Then your authentication server is a trusted server that does the authentication mechanism of your network access by receiving, processing, and responding to various requests. Got this point?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it can be one of your radius server, TACAC server, like that it can be. Okay.
Okay.
So this authentication server is having couple of the software available. Okay. And it can work on EAP,
Mm-hmm.
TLS. Maybe I am just coming to that part.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So common methods for this is the EAP method. Like you can use lightweight EAP.
Mm-hmm.
You can use simple EAP.
Mm.
You can use protected EAP.
Okay.
Or you can use EAP with TLS. It is bit
Mm.
like two-factor of authentication.
Mm.
So in case of our guest, no, not in the guest, maybe corporate user, we used EAP TLS. Okay, getting this point?
Yeah, yeah.
So transport layer security through your digital certificates,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
So the AS and supplicants exchange the certificate so that they can authenticate each other. Okay, and a TLS tunnel will be established for a minute.
Mm.
Now, on your WLC, there can be security based upon WPA, which is Wi-Fi protected access.
Mm-hmm.
Wi-Fi protected access.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and there can be WEP, WEP, which is wired equivalent privacy, but it is no more longer into the use, very poor. Okay, WEP is initial security mechanism specified by your original 802.11 standard, but now it is suppressed. Okay,
Mm.
then you can use something named as 802.11x, where all the things, the three components I talked about. So far, any doubt?
No, no,
Now, if you will go to the device, okay, if you go to the WLAN, and when you are creating any WLAN or maybe existing WLAN also, if you go to the security, can you see here it can be none, here it can be
no.
WPA or WPA2. So even in the WA policy, if you wanted to select WPA, okay, you wanted to select WPA2 or what kind of policies or encryption you wanted to use. So that this tkeep was the previous one, very simple, not in use now. So you can use WPA, WPA2, you can use WPA2 and WPA3, okay, and you can use lot of settings from here. But let us say I wanted to use WPA and WPA2 majorly. Security type for enterprise or personal, let us say I am saying it's for the personal. You can also go with MAC filtering that I will explain in a moment. But now let us say it's for the personal. If when you scroll down, you can go with the pre-shared key option also, right? So you are applying the pre-shared key and you can just utilize that pre-shared key from there. But if you wanted to do the MAC filtering, you just click on this MAC filtering and you apply this feature, right?
Okay.
Similarly, when you go to the security, in the security, uh, give me a minute. Can you see this MAC filtering?
Yeah.
So you click on MAC filtering and you can just enable this MAC filtering for your use. Okay. So you can just add MAC address, profile name, IP address, whatever you wanted to use for which interface. Okay. So MAC filtering also you can do under the WLAN when you are going for the security part. So this security thing is not included into the syllabus. Okay, this is very vast and it is a security feature, uh, all separate altogether. Now you can go for the layer 3 security. So currently you can see layer 3 security is none. So let us say I don't want to go for the layer 2 security. Apply. Let me just disable this also. I am going to the security, I am going in the layer 3 security, right? Here also you can just enable that I wanted to go for the web policy. So web policy is something maybe you can say for your guest, you can say, okay, web policy. So here you can apply the web policy and now if I will go to the WLAN, you can see this is having web authentication. Right. So if I will go to the WLAN, okay, into the security, I can specify my AAA server also. Currently, there is no authentication server or accounting server. It's not showing you any. But if you will go to your wireless, sorry, security, depending upon if you have Radius or TechX Plus, right? You just go to the authentication. Let us say you can say that I am having the new server. Apply any of the server, maybe any of the shared key ABC, let us say any, and apply this. Right, I have one
Okay.
server available now. So if you go to the WLAN and under the WLAN, if you go to the security field under the AAA, you can see that particular server is available to you now. Right. Similarly, you can enable for the accounting server also. And when you apply, now your configuration.
Larissa, can you continue the class next week?
Give me a minute. Okay.
Okay.
So now you can see that there is a AAA server. So if I will click on the WLAN, you can see this there is web authentication. You share your screen now. Okay. I wanted to see these settings on your device and I wanted to show these settings on your device and then I will proceed. Okay. Taking some time. Okay. See here. One is saying you WPA2 web authentication through the 8021X, right? Something is showing you MAC filtering. Something is showing you PSK. Something is even showing you web which is disabled. Okay, leave that. First click on this. Very slow. Okay. Now if you go to the security, you can see layer 2 security is what? WPA and WPA2. MAC filtering is not enabled, right? Here WPA2 policy is selected. For encryption I am using AES. So there are different mechanism for the hashing mechanism for your system. And if you scroll it down, for the authentication management I enabled 8021X also, right? If you go to the layer 3, that is not selected, but if you go to your AAA server, you can see there are AAA servers which are enabled. What is AAA?
One second, Adesha.
When you click radius and authentication, can you see? So into your environment, if you see, there are plenty of, radius servers available, right? For accounting, if you click here, for accounting also, can you see?
Yeah.
It's for the accounting thing, right? So for
Yeah.
accounting also there are couple of the servers available, right? Now if you see the fallback mode is leave. If you just go to the authentication for the TACACS basis, so you are not utilizing the TACACS. You are only utilizing the radius server. Got this point?
Yeah.
And when you see your WLAN and into your WLAN, when you're clicking on any of the WLAN ID, okay, and under the security you are checking the AAA server, you can able to see there are a lot of AAA servers which are available.
Okay.
Any doubt?
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so there are a lot of things to discuss, but since you need to go and the class time is also over, so you can stop
Okay.
sharing your screen.
So next Saturday I will be there, but Sunday I won't be there. I'm going out to an event in Hamilton, Ontario. Okay.
So just stop sharing your screen, please.
Okay.